Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. I'm going nowhere. What's up, y'all? This your boy Juro. I just wanted to come back up on here, even though I didn't have to, but I'm all about being authentic. And I put a video out earlier this morning about speaking my truth, and that's one thing that I've always strived to do about my channel is to speak your truth, to be authentic. Because if you can't be authentic on how you feel, how are you going to be authentic on what you experience? That is why you always hear me say energy out is energy returned, because it's about manifesting. It's about the true essence of what makes you you. And it starts with the spirit. So this morning I felt a little angered. I did. Because logically, I was trying to understand what was being spiritually shown. And I was running into a contradiction because we ain't got to tell you, the earth is not fair. Society has a lot of bias in it, but you are required to still find your way, to still navigate it through, to still gravitate to what is authentically you. And the more authentic you are, the less is rendered in return. That's why we always see a contradiction when we hear people say, well, I want this, but you settle for that. This is not shade, shame, or deflection. This is fact. Legendary hip-hop group Black Sheep had a song out, This or That. Well, before you can have this or that, you must ground your feet so that you have a foundation to stand upon. But see, when that foundation is tested, we tend to shift out of convenience. And that's not right. It's not right. So I was feeling a certain kind of way, y'all. And like I said, I'm not going to take up your time, but I can tell you, I don't have to tell you, there are countless examples of failures when it comes to relationships and child rearing. There are countless examples of good parents that don't have access to their children. But you don't hear about that in the court system. You don't hear anybody advocating for that because they still need that neglectful parent. They still need that parent that only comes with the excuses. To make more. So the contradictory was, I didn't do well when it came to passive aggressive behavior because the fact of the matter is, I've always been a phone call away. I've always been monetarily a father that gave more than what was required. I've always beneficially supported since my child's first breath. I've always done that. But when it came to my peace of mind, when it came to how about just support, emotional support, I never got that. Because as a man, you're supposed to take it on the chin. Or better yet, opt out and just take it on the wallet instead. Well, that I had a problem with that because the fact that that was my seed. That's why when you look at her, you see me. And I'm a firm believer too that God is, God is the ultimate comedian because God will also make it so that you have a reminder of where you failed to do what was required. And you see it play out in the child. That's why the child looks like the other parent. How about the parent that's not actively in your life? That's a reminder every day of where you failed or there is work still required. But what happens? Pride always gets in the way. Truth is never stated. Ego always sets the tone. And division is always made. So on the flip side, that made me feel a certain kind of way because, you know, she's my firstborn. And it doesn't matter if she was my 10th born. I don't have any other children. She is my only child. But I love her so much. Guess what? I didn't have any more because I wanted to make sure that what we had was healed. See, that's what a real father does. He doesn't go out and say, well, you know what, because I can't be with you, I'll, treat you like Lay's potato chips and make others and forget about you. Or because I'm not with that person no more, I'm gonna forget about you. That's how black sheeps are born. Yeah. But see, you don't hear people talking about that, and they wonder why mental illness has a position in society today. We wonder why we have certain lifestyles the way, because we're not talking about what is required to heal your family. Your family tree, that should be your ride or die, because the weakest link is your strongest link. Who am I talking to? But since we want to live in a society where it's all about strategic alignment, what can you do or what have you done for me lately? That is placed before the potential of the seed to come to pass. And they wonder why little Angie is fast and going from here to there, to there, to there, to there. They're wondering why little JJ is on the street marked and etched by tape. We're wondering why our babies are coming up missing. You notice we still ain't heard anything about those 21 in DC. That's still somebody's baby. That's still someone's child. So there's still things you can't come out your mouth and say it's gonna be all right, or you're grown up, let's take that on. No, when it comes to the heart, especially for a man that gives a damn, because the reality is when daddy decides not to give a damn, especially when he has a daughter, guess who does? No one. And who benefits? The streets. Because there's no one to protect his angel. He can't be there when the bruises come. He can't be there to come at night to make it all better. Why? Because You have been indoctrinated, queen, to shut your mouth. You've been convinced to put your pride over your happiness. Do you not see the commonality why every one of your relationships fail? They're going to keep failing too until you heal your relationship with the number one man that you ever came to know. Because guess what? Your daddy is the keeper of the other side of your personality. Who am I talking to? Why do you think you act a certain way or you respond a certain way, but you don't see the influence from others? Because it comes from your father. That's why your DNA is made up of 46 chromosomes. 23 of your mother, 23 of your father. And the dominant will be the example because that's what God wanted. But see, when you allow the Jezebel spirit, when you allow those to defy and defile, your family will struggle. It will be your greatest test. And to some, that may be your epitaph because you take it to your grave because it was something that you could not change. But that's a lie because you can change anything. Just like you can hear what came out my mouth and entered your ear, you felt it on your spirit. Why are you holding on a grudge that could have been changed yesterday? Maybe that grudge was something that you had to master yourself. How about forgiving? Because as a parent, isn't that the first example, is to teach your young how to forgive? Isn't that part of the wisdom that is supposed to be bestowed into the lineage? But no, we're too busy worried about status and who got what, not who builds what, who protects that, not who laid with that. We're too busy worried about that when all that doesn't matter because you can't take it with you. Meanwhile, we fall prey to the distractions and the things that will not matter, but will take account when you look back at time robbed. Because see, those people that broke your heart won't be there. And the people that you need to help you grow and have the keys to love you unconditionally, they can't get access until you allow those wounds to heal. That's why emotional therapy does not work. That's why getting over to get under does not work. That's why jumping over the fence saying I'm going to be like them instead of being like you will never work. Because as long as you run from you, you'll never be at peace. You will never know what joy is. You will not understand the words that matter most. How about I love you? If you're walking around feeling frozen, feeling numb, it's because you got work still required. And until you have the courage to look at that work is going to sit there. And guess what? Work is just like pain. It knows no time, only sustainment. But guess who's the person that can champion it? So for me, I go to sleep every night with a clear conscience because I know I've done all that I can do. I don't have a regret. That's why I stay prayed up. Now, at the end of the day, it is about free will. And I have to always, and I will always have my heart open. But at the end of the day, my soul is not for sale. nor is my alliance. So who's loving you? Because if they're only showing you excuses of what not to do, they're not being an example of what would or what should be. Be the exception to the rule. Place him first. He knows what you need. Behold what he shows you in the intended time. You'll see. Be blessed.